Springbok machine, die green minus. So loza. Hey! Wanneer? Hier kom die Bokke, hoeka chaka, la 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 la. Hey partner, guys, welcome to the #1 rugby podcast. Okay, all of you guys that are watching, we are all world champions.
Just as world champions, eh?
Wanneer? World champions.
Campione, ole, ole, ole.
More. Give me more.
Campione, ole, ole, ole.
Wanneer?
Crazy boy.
Welcome, partner.
Wow. Fantastic, eh? Episode 17, can't wait,
Yes,
huh? Champions, eh? Of the world.
World champions, okay?
Just so.
Bokke, back to back.
Hey,
back to back. Hey.
Huh?
Wanneer?
Fantastic weekend, eh, Paige?
Ik leef nou nog.
In de stoel.
Guys, it's Friday.
Springbokjes was flowing, eh?
Springbokjes were flowing. We are world champions. Sia Kulisi, back to back.
Yeah.
Cyril was there also.
Yes,
with a trophy.
Second time as well, eh?
Die licht is af, Reis.
But
But
hij
om
staat.
C is
Hij
that side lifting a trophy. Okay?
Yo, fantastic
yes,
week, eh?
My smile has been, if it wasn't for ears, ne? Smile recht
Recht
rondom.
rondom, eh?
Okay? So Bokke, thank you guys.
Yo, fantastic. I can't wait for the episode, eh?
Exactly.
Before we get into it, eh? Let's observe the protocol, eh? Guys, we're live here at Rooibos Man Studios, eh? Woo!
Wanneer?
There's a new sheriff in the BTR town.
Okay.
Huh? Yes. I don't know if they see we
I
need
think they saw my wrinkles,
a touch of love, eh?
They didn't mention it in the meetings, but they saw my wrinkles. But Rooibos Man.
Oh, fantastic to be part of them as well, yeah. And also our long-lasting partner, okay, Lulabet. Hey?
Yes, well done, boytjie.
Yes, getting there.
Well done,
so
partner.
guys, check it out at lulabet.co.za. And then check all the other stuff, hey. I can't check it out, still playing. But you've got the app,
Yes, always there
some
supporting.
good odds
They're
for you.
supporting us,
Yes.
so I'm supporting them.
Yes, they're keeping the lights on here at BTR,
Exactly.
hey. They're fighting Eskom op het
Yep, Eskom sit al die ligte nou af. Ek het dit gaan aan.
Massive shout out to them as well, yeah. Yeah, partner.
And then quickly, well, thank you for observing the protocol, partner. I quickly want to give our people the lineup.
The lineup. Line it up.
Quite easy. Springboks World Champions again, back to back. We're going to talk about that.
The boys are in town.
Because of that reason, we made sure we got a legend on the show today. Yes. Boys, up next, we're also going to have Breyton Paulse in the house. Not on the Zoom, in the house.
We
okay?
lucky, huh?
Yes, Breyton Paulse.
What do you call Bommelakisi, man? Huh? Celebration.
Ja, het is een bommelakkie, hè?
Yeah,
I don't even know. Sorry.
Yeah, he started it all, eh? That's
he-
why I got into the celebrations, because of him. He started
Short people excel in sport.
Oh, okay, here we go. Okay,
Then we got an All Black legend on the show. Yep. Behind the ruck, we give you everything. We sort you out. Joe Rokocoko. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, Rokocoko.
Okay.
Yes,
Joe
yes.
Rokocoko on the show.
Rolls of the tongue.
And we're going to speak all things Springboks. We're going to talk about the celebrations. We're going to talk about Sia and the boys at Oliver Tambo Airport. It is the people driving on the buses. Hopefully Bongi doesn't get knocked off by the bridge this year. So Bongi, bly in die bus. Sit meneer. Ek bietjie excited.
He must be in the rechterkant.
Yes.
Huh?
Bongi on the rechterkant.
Okay.
In
middelkant.
Okay. So that's the lineup. A very exciting episode for you guys. As you guys can see, me and my partner, we are excited. We're jumping with joy. Our energy is high.
Yo, it's been an incredible Rugby World Cup, eh? Huh?
Back to back.
Hey, back to back. Hey, back to back. Hey. So, guys, when you see us in the town or in outside, you can just straight away just go back to back. Hey, we know what
it means. Okay.
Yeah, partner.
But partner,
what a Rugby World Cup final, eh? Tournament in all, but the Rugby World Cup final, incredible, eh?
It is honestly, for us as a country, it is phenomenal to be, because this is elite. This is elite status. That is upper hierarchy. I don't even know what right English word I can use. Nie hierarchy. Dis op die regte op die hoogste hierarchy.
Okay.
But Springboks winning back-to-back in the manner that we won it.
The way we did it, eh?
You understand?
The playoffs, everything in all.
That's
And the
4
final.
World Cup. We're the only team with 4 World Cups.
Yeah.
Partner. The only team in the world with 4
4
World Cups.
for the nation.
And we only played our first World Cup in 1995. Let that sink in. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Sunk in.
What a final that was, eh? Something we don't obviously see when it comes to finals. It was cards flowing everywhere.
Ooh, drama.
Drama. I don't know if the ref was playing poker because it's yellow cards, red cards. What do you think about the whole 80 minutes, eh?
I was obviously, when Bokke got injured, let's start in the beginning.
Yes.
When Bokke got injured, I was scared. I'm not going to lie to you, partner. I was really afraid.
Stuff we worried about.
You understand? We always worried about only having one hooker to the World Cup after Malcolm got injured. What we're going to look like. But the boys found a way. Eh?
Found a way.
Really, the guys really found a way. I think the way that the Springboks play sums us up as a country.
Yeah.
We was geen nie.
Gee alles. Huh?
Even the lights are not on. Light the candle.
Just
There
so
will
we
be
find
light.
a way.
We find
winners
a
find a way.
You understand?
And guys were incredible, I must say. Like Peter Steve the Toy had 28 tackles. He was all over the park.
I got a phone call about someone phoning me earlier today,
Yeah,
guys, asking me, is Peter still tackling?
He looks like he's still tackling.
Is he still making tackles in Paris?
So he's seeing everything around here, hey. Wow, it was incredible as well, eh? And
Andre was incredible.
Andre.
Jesse was incredible. Branas, Dion Fourie, turnovers was incredible. Kwagga Smith, outstanding coming off the bench.
Incredible, eh? And big moments, we had big moments as well. Cheston Colby, close, but we made it work. We made it work.
Yes.
We got Ox, catching the rugby whip Ellis here at the back.
Yes, he was holding it at the back. It's like me the last day of the month with my, if there's no money, you must hold it.
Last 10 rand, you're holding it.
You're holding it last 10 rand.
That was fantastic, eh?
No, it was awesome.
I
think South Africans, obviously, I hope everyone has recovered from their hangovers.
Yes.
I think, obviously.
This public holiday, where's it coming?
I'm seeing the public holiday in December.
Cyril, we need to email Cyril, eh? Because he's got a lot on his plate. We need to email him, make sure that he knows about that public holiday.
He made it the 15th of December. Yeah, that's almost 2 months after the World Cup. But okay, thanks MC for the day.
Yeah.
We're going to take it anyway.
No, we take that.
But yes, Bokke was excellent. Seeing
One
the
point.
celebrations, obviously the Saturday first, how South Africans were hooting around the thing. South Africans cheering, South Africans crying because we were biting our nails. Meneer?
Yes, so it was fantastic. Eh? And we said, obviously, with the 2019 Rugby World Cup, you were in France,
Yes,
I was in England, so we can celebrate now.
Yep.
They must find a way. We must go ask one of the players. Find a way. Kry vir ons happy bus. Ons sal hulle lekker enjoy. Eh?
South Africans, my advice to you guys is we skip November, right?
Skip
we make
November.
it December.
Why? Because we're going back to back.
Ay, back to back.
Ay.
But it's December, okay?
Festive.
We love festive. We can't stop
Moet die
now.
plan nie.
The
Ja,
box
ja.
has got us into this vibe. Crack on. If the money's finished, maak skuld. Go to the bank, get loan. We crack on.
We crack on, yeah. Wow.
The Bokke has put us into proper
mood, proper setup, hey?
Ne?
Yeah. And we just have to find that way in 4 years to make that loan. Because I'm going down under. Are we going down under?
We're going to go.
Yes.
Next World Cup, we're there.
Like the Boks find a way to win the World
Yes.
Cup. We find a way
to go to next
Australia.
World Cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deal.
We forgot something, Paddy. Yes. Behind the stumps.
Oh. Huh? Behind the stumps. Bring
Yes.
something in. Huh?
Proteas, we are watching you guys.
Yes.
We are proud of what you guys are currently putting out.
Yes. We're getting a section as well. Behind the stumps keeps our followers up to date.
Yes.
What's going on?
Hopefully you guys can also do the business that side.
Yeah.
Ne? I've got a lekker feeling in my tummy,
Yo.
partner. The Proteas are going to do us a favor as well and keep our spirits high.
Then January is also December. Huh? Might be.
Seatbelt.
Okay, seatbelt.
Put on your seatbelt. Put on your seatbelt.
Yeah.
But hopefully, and I mean from the two of us and all of South Africans,
Yeah.
we're going to celebrate the box now. But in the back of my mind, our
get
minds, we're behind you guys, okay?
Behind ICC, yeah.
Yes.
Done with
Proteas,
IRB.
Protea fire.
Protea fire, yeah.
Protea fire, okay?
Yeah.
First World Cup coming home.
Yeah,
this year.
massive. So we got a good lineup. Good
Okay.
lineup, yeah.
Temba and the boys, Jennikie van die. Lekker.
Thumbs up
sterkte.
for the boykies. And then also the URC fixtures will have a crack. They're also
Yes.
flowing. Competition is up and running, yeah.
We'll do that at the end of our
Yeah.
show. and exciting.
Yeah.
But let's get straight
Yeah,
into
straight
it.
into it, Bommelakkies, man. Yes.
Somersault guy.
Mm.
Up next, guys,
next,
we have Breyton Paulse. And here we go, partner.
Yes, sir.
Once again, Springbok legend.
Professionalism, eh?
Meneer,
Huh?
Breyton Paulse,
Sir.
welcome to the
Welcome,
number
Breyty.
one
Yes,
rugby
sir.
podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yes. How are you doing, my friend?
Thank you, gents. Cheers. I mean, now that we got the World Cup again,
Yes.
I'm doing quite fine. More than fine, man.
It's happy, all smiles, hey guys. Eh?
Yes, sir.
World champions back to back.
Back to back, eh? Now the boys did it, they do well, eh? Yes, sir. And Breyty, you won the World Cup, eh? I see all the boys, John de Villiers and all the boys at that side.
I wanted to go, but couldn't get a Schengen visa in time. You know?
Oh, yeah,
Also,
yeah.
you know, a bit out of money, but so I
Yeah.
don't know who would have paid for my flight.
Because
Anyway.
me and Rudy, we applied for F&B loan, it didn't come through.
Nothing, man. Yeah. Nothing. It was tough. But Breyty, I want to start, Juby. I want to start, obviously, we had a fantastic weekend, guys.
Yeah.
Back-to-back world champions. All of us watched the games, but that's why we got the legend in today.
himself.
Breyty, give us your thoughts on the finals, everything about the final. Share us with your thoughts and what you thought about the final and the game itself.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, majestic final. It had all the drama that it possibly could have. The first sort of second minute, Bongi got injured. All of a sudden,
yeah.
I mean, Johan knows, you know, Branagh had to step up. And
Yeah.
did he step up? And then, you know, a sort of blonde guy almost lost his leg a couple of years ago. Peter stepped up.
Yes.
Made 28 tackles in 18 minutes. Absolutely insane. So for a final, I mean, you need cool heads. Obviously, the red card again, you know, played a big part in that final. But I mean, we don't care now because if you take consistency over the last couple of weeks, that it was a red card. You know, Sam Kane unfortunately went really high on Jesse. And the other, if you can sort of compare to Sia's tackle, Sia, he dipped. So once
Yes,
you dip,
agree.
there's mitigating factors, which is really, really cool. And then obviously the All Blacks came back. I mean, she's Mark Delia, Will Jordan. You know, they literally threw the kitchen sink at us, and our defense stood firm again. You know, as we did against France. I mean, against France, we missed 43 tackles, guys. I don't know if you saw the stats. 43 tackles. Any team would have lost that game. So that's how close the margins are. But our scramble defense, again, you know, when Cheslin went off, the yellow card at the end, and if Jordy Barrett put over that kick, I mean, they probably won. But it was destined to be ours. I mean, these group of guys are a special bunch, and I tell you what, they deserve all the praise that come their way.
Yeah, yes, we're lucky. It was 1 point in the quarterfinals, 1 in the semifinals, huh?
And that's the point.
Yeah, we proved the point there. Yeah.
And I think what summed up all of that for me in this, especially this group, Breyty Juba, is they find a way.
Yeah.
It's not perfect
Winners
rugby.
find a way, yeah.
It's not perfect rugby, but they literally just find a way to get the result. And that obviously stood out for me throughout the three playoff games.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's credit to the senior players as well. There's a good balance in terms of the senior players and the junior players as well, and that was absolutely fantastic. Talking about the players, who was the standout players for you, Breyty?
The standout player for me, if I had to pick a player of the tournament, you know, from South Africa's perspective, it would be a guy from the bench, Kwagga Smith.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys saw his stats.
he's a must. Even off the bench, he's a must.
He's a monster. He's a monster. And I think he sort of fulfilled the role of a genuine impact player. But again, you know, the motto or the DNA of this team is playing for the greater cause. And guys, I mean, I said in studio as well after the game, you know, we were so overwhelmed as well. And I suppose all South Africans were, you know, so relieved and happy and overjoyed. But I said that corporate South Africa need to look at this team. And there's a genuineness and a realness about this team that people in their daily lives, you know, can take when it comes to opportunity, when it comes to believe in players, when it comes to giving people second chances. These guys, they represent all of that. And they represent, you know, all walks of life in South Africa. I don't care where you come from. You know, if you're not prepared to understand where Rudy comes from, where Johan comes from, you know, you're not gonna have success in life. And that to me is so special. These guys are real people. They are the real heroes, and they really give us that little bit of hope that this country doesn't give us because of the challenges and all that kind of stuff.
100%. And they've been together now for the past. This squad have been together like for eight years now. So I would say, I want to ask you actually the question, how do you feel about the future for us? You know, we got Jacques, the coach is leaving now. Dwayne is also calling it a day as soon as
Yes.
like, I don't know, he's moving on. And the juniors coming through, like Kanan and the boys. Where do you see yourself in the next World Cup in 2027?
Yeah, geez, good luck to the next coach. Eh?
Yes.
Rudy, did you put your name in the head?
Breyton, I'm actually an inspiring ref.
Oh!
We'll get to that.
my
We'll
word.
get to that. We'll get to that.
These knees is like a line
He won't make it. He will be too slow for the breakdowns. We'll give Egan seconds to call as well to give you tips. Okay. But coming back to you, John. Yeah, I mean, a very important question. I mean, what does the next coach do to sort of get the same out of this team? I mean, the character we speak about this team is just something else. You know, they created a culture of obviously, first of all, good human beings and then rugby players. And I think that to me is so special. Obviously, we're going to see who will the coach be in the next couple of months, I suppose. I mean, Rassie will be interim. And then I think continuity is quite important with the squad because when Rassie took over, everybody thought they would get somebody from outside. And then Jock Nina must step up because Jock knew the culture of this team. So that in itself, it's a really, really important sort of, I would almost say like togetherness with this team is how this culture work. And they got a lot of guys. I mean, they got Felix and they got, a couple of guys from overseas who also sort of, taken to this culture, which is really important. So for me, I would say Dion Davids, for instance, of, Stick.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, a Stick, I mean, and then
squad.
if let's say they want to get an outsider, I'm just thinking, what about a guy like Johan Ackerman, He kind of, he'll give me that same sort of sense that Rassie gave you when he first took over and he sort of transformed this team into world beaters. So I would think they wouldn't probably go far past those guys because continuity for me is quite interesting in this
Just
space.
on that point, obviously, Breyton speaks about Akis. Do you guys think that Rassie's already got a plan? I know he's a fantastic planner. He would not leave anything up to chance. So do we sitting here, do we think he's already got someone identified and that's going to step in immediately? That's a yes.
Yeah, that's 100% a yes. He's I mean, Rassie's a genius and you've seen it through his plans, the lights and the 7-1s and the 6-2s and so much technical stuff that he not overthink, but he's always prepared in the next chapter. So I probably think come the end of this, in a couple of weeks, we'll know who's the next guy.
We'll know who's the next guy. And rightly so, Rassie, it's about detail. I mean, the guy is so ahead of his time that every little bit of detail he can give the players, he will give it to them. I mean, they would probably have trained in this week where one player would have got a yellow card. They would have knew how to, who must do what, for instance,
Yes.
Because of the 7-1. I mean, Cheslin, obviously, if something happened to Faf, Cheslin would have knew what to do. But those are the kind of risk you take, They do take calculated risk and they really brave to go 7-1 in a Rugby World Cup final. Who would have thought about that?
Yes.
And that shows you the intelligence of Rassie and Jock and his management team, because at the end of the day, you got to make some serious, unpopular calls. And if it doesn't work, listen, if the flip side is, if it doesn't work, it can backfire. But these guys have shown us the last 4 or 5 years that
They're not afraid.
most times when they take a risky call, it comes off.
It comes off, It's
And I
calculated.
like the boldness in Rassie's selections in the 7-1, the way he plays his game. He doesn't conform, is that the right English word? He doesn't conform to the rest of the world.
I think because of Rudy's personality, he would have been captain, if he was still playing in the Rassie.
Yes, I was the only scrum half who didn't go to the World Cup. I think.
Yeah, you both just now. They were 4 scrum halves.
So I love the
planning.
boldness of Rassie and Jock and the way they honestly don't conform to anyone in the world. I think for long periods of time, the All Black was the team where they kind of trendsetters. They were always the next thing. And now we've taken that mantle. The Springbok rugby is changing rugby around. We're trying to maneuver the laws to the best of our possible ability. And while we were obviously speaking, Breyton was speaking about the cards. I really wanted there not to be any cards in the
Yeah,
game.
just so,
But
for a World Cup
boys,
final.
unfortunately, there was a few cards.
Yeah. Yeah, Breyton, what's your point? Obviously, we're not here under BTR to bash the refs and stuff like that.
No.
And those couple of calls, if you speak to the New Zealanders, they will say, that should have been a red for Sia as well. So what's your thoughts on those calls and the bunker system and everything around the referees and consistency?
Yeah, I mean, listen, unfortunately, rugby rules are grey. There's a lot of grey areas, guys. If we 3 guys go and ref a rugby game now, we would all see at the breakdown, for instance, different kind of rules applied. And we would all give, I would probably give for the yellow team penalty and Rudy for the blue team penalty, just for instance. But the cards in that game was the correct calls. You know, if you talk about consistency, I mean, Sam Cane, like I said, he didn't dip with his
Yeah, there
hips
was
and
no
automatic
notification.
red card, unfortunately. For me, I just feel that red cards is important. And I mean, this is a debate that me and the big guy, Kubas Visa, have a lot. You know, we almost like get worked up, you know. I won't fight him because he's too big for me, but we get worked up about it because I just feel that if you take red cards out, then it's going to become chaos. You know what I'm saying, John? I'm just saying, you know, if we need to start blowing rugby incidents, okay? So that red card of Sam Cane was a rugby incident. Sam Cane, if you look at his track record, he's not a dirty player,
Yeah,
guys.
he's
He's not a dirty player.
no.
He just got it slightly wrong. But let's be honest, guys, there are some teams who are going out to hurt people, right?
Fair enough.
And that, I'm just saying, when you can see there was intent, somebody wanted to hurt somebody, red card. But, you know, obviously hindsight is better, but Sam Cane's card, unfortunately for me, was a red card. And we go to Sia. Again, Sia dipped. Sia dipped, you know? So, and those are the small margins that the guys didn't get right. I think to a certain extent, the bunker system worked okay. It worked okay because people now had time to think about it and don't make emotional decisions because most times referees are human, guys. They make emotional decisions.
on
You
a
know, and
split
it's a
second.
spirit of, it's in a split second. These things happen 120 miles an hour. And you can't blame these guys sometimes as well. But all we want, you know, the rugby public is crying out for fair play and fair calls all the time.
Consistency.
Yeah,
Consistency, yeah.
I must say on the bunker system, Breyty, Joops, I'm extremely happy with it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's no
It
more
speed up.
stoppages.
Yeah.
There's no more
Speed of
5
play.
minutes waiting for a clip to get played
Speed of
over
play.
and over. So I'm hoping the bunker system is here to stay. I think just for the value entertainment sake of rugby, that's going to improve our game. I also agree the cards was.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
I was quite surprised that they gave Shannon Frizzell one so early in the game.
Yeah.
Because referees tend to not.
Yes.
Once the game starts, they tend to kind
Yeah,
of.
And
especially
again,
World Cup final.
and coming back to my point, that was a rugby incident. Shannon, obviously, the neck roll, you know, it is yellow, but he didn't intentionally want to hurt Bonke.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, guys, because I mean, you guys also play against the All Blacks, and you know,
You
against
just
the
want to
All
get them
Blacks,
out there.
the guys are hard. It's a flippin' hard physical battle, you know, and that's what All Black and Springboks rugby is about, and may that never die.
Yeah.
May that legacy, you know, continue forever. And I mean, it was a dream final, and
Just-
kudos to the box for getting over the line,
Yes.
and well done to the All Blacks as well
Yes.
for, you know, coming out to the box and
Starting
giving it to
slow,
them. Yeah,
winning.
this All Black team unfortunately didn't have the clinicalness that I expect from All Black side. And let me tell you guys, I'm a little bit worried because
next?
Razor's taking over.
Oh, is it?
And I mean, guys, that man is a hell of a. He's a
Yeah.
bit like Rassie Erasmus.
just about
He's
to
also
say
He's a
genius,
bit like
yeah.
Rassie Erasmus. So let's be frank
But do you
about
think
it.
they've got the players and the players in the right positions? Because we were debating it in terms of, you know, having Bowden Barrett at 15 and
Yeah.
not at 10. You know, Jordy, is he at 12 actually? Who's the best wingers? And is Rico actually at 13? All those type of,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
combinations. You can have a good coach, but if the structure and the people
Yeah.
within it,
And also, what you're trying to say is that I always say it as well. Not all good coaches are good selectors. And
Ooh, I like
Fozzie,
that.
Fozzie, you know, he's not a good selector, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
With all due respect, I mean, Fozzie. I would have been a bit worried if Fozzie were to call him a Rugby World Cup winning coach.
Yeah.
I mean, because really, man.
Is it? Yeah.
You know, with all due respect, he's done well.
could see
Listen,
it,
he's done well. They went under the radar. They had a wonderful path to the final. Not many hiccups, not many injuries, you know, unlike us where we lost Malcolm, you know, sort of in the beginning of the World Cup, which is huge for us.
Massive loss.
So other guys had to step up. So for me, I'm just warning, you know, us South African fans as
Yeah,
well, but
yeah,
let's
yeah.
celebrate this moment. Let's enjoy this
Yeah,
moment
yeah, yeah.
while the guys are having this William Webb Ellis Cup in the country.
We cross that bridge when we get there.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's next year's worries, Juba.
Huh?
Next year's worries.
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah,
Okay,
World Cup
let's
worry,
leave
yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, Brett as well. There's one question. You know the 7-1 split. I mean, we have spoken about it for a couple of times. So I hate it. You know, especially with the one back. And you know, us as backline players, you need that relief now and then. To play 80 minutes every weekend is a bit tough. What do you think about the 7-1 split? And also, I know it was perfect for this weekend. It's got wet conditions, but going forward, is that something the teams and other teams are going to use?
Yeah, no, I hope not. I hope not. It is risky. It is high risk. Like I say, if it backfire, then it's you know it can backfire like quite
Yeah,
harshly.
yeah.
But I think if coaches like I know Dobbo also like the 6-2. You know, if coaches want to
He
do
loves
something like that, 6-2 can work. But for me, 7-1. You know, I
It's a
hope
bit
we don't
riskier.
see that going forward.
It was tough, and I know us, we all backline players.
Yeah.
Die werk raak min man as hulle sê. If they're going 7-1, the job raak min vir die boys.
Yes. Now the same day I want to be a scrum, just to be an option
So
on the bench.
it's not ideal.
Also, I mean, what is the message that you send out to the backline players as well? You know what I mean? I mean, the likes of, let's say, Marnie, Andre Estes, and Kenan Moody.
Yeah.
I mean, those are world-class players, man.
Yes.
You know, people want to see their skill. Obviously, I know that we went a little bit conservative when we start going into the quarterfinals, semifinals, which is understandable. People don't ask you how you won the World Cup in 10 years' time because it's all like South Africa are the world champions. You know, nobody talks about how we play. But what is nice about this group as well is that, and thankfully, Rassie and Jock and the guys have transformed this team also into a attacking sort of style. When the likes of Marnie plays, when the likes of Andre Estes plays, Moody, you know, it's a different kind of team. So we have all that variety now as a team, and that makes us really, really, really good.
Love the variety. I like the variety. Must be honest with you guys.
Options. You need options, eh?
And I think obviously Polly played exceptionally well in the final. He is the guy for the big occasion. But I want to give Mani credit. Gents, if it wasn't for Mani, I don't think we would have been in the final. The whole year, not just the World Cup. The way he played when Polly got injured before the Rugby Championship, his level of performances throughout the Rugby Championship, in the group stages, I thought he was exceptional and very unlucky not to get the breakthrough player of the year.
I mean, I agree with you. I think to think that Marnie and Koba started the semi-final, you know, and in the quarterfinal, and sadly missed out in the final. And I think that's so special about this team, you know. Although I'm sure that Marnie and Kobus would have been very upset. I mean, if you were a player who getting dropped, you would be upset. But in that, they still understand the greater cause of the side. You know, it's not about the individual. But I like a bit of grit from a player side when they get dropped because everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to play, but obviously sometimes coaches select players for a certain course, and we all know what Andre can do when it comes to tactical and obviously kicking for post. You know, he's going to give you 9 to 12 points in a game, and that scoreboard pressure, I think, that they put up on the scoreboard the first half sort of got to the All Blacks, and that's why the All Blacks had to start playing risky rugby, and that's when we at our best because of our defensive structures, and that's why once or twice guys almost intercept. So for the time being that worked for us, and hopefully going forward we will be more brave in terms of our attacking style.
Definitely like it, man. Ek like
Bietjie Joel, man. Let the boys play.
Let the boys play. Understanding.
And Andre was actually, Mani was actually fantastic in that,
And there was a lot of players, obviously some of the boys that didn't play in the final. But our standout players for me, Andre Esterhuizen played a phenomenal part in this World Cup. Jesse Kriel.
Jesse was, especially stepping up.
Before the World Cup, I was calling for Lucanio to be ready and hoping he recovers from his injury. I apologize. I apologize to you, sir. But Jesse was outstanding. His defensive, obviously his work rate, his reads, that's obviously your department partner. In the final as well,
defensive reads,
and throughout the World Cup, he was phenomenal. Damien Willemse.
Damien is 25 years old, guys. 2 Rugby World Cup medals. I mean, let that sink in. I mean,
that 3 more World Cups coming.
That is just incredible. That really is incredible, and I think this team, like, anybody who comes in, the pressure of coming into the team and try and perform, but what gives me calmness is that the culture that, I spoke about the culture again, the culture that's been created, for people who come in, they will flourish. They will flourish because it's not about, a person coming in with the ego. It's about the team, not the individual. I mean, even, obviously, as you guys know, you guys know Sia well. When Sia speaks, it's about the team, it's at all cost. And again, credit to Sia because we all were worried, guys, before the World Cup when he got injured. I mean, everybody was suddenly a doctor and say Sia would never make it. He's out. And I mean, the miraculously recovery guys
and to do what he did was
out of this world. I mean, that first warm-up game when he played against Wales, I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, 5 months to come back and be so sharp. It takes a special human, and let's want to see us a special human.
We actually said, Breyton, we said before the World Cup started, if he goes back to back, what are we doing?
He's president.
He's president. Of vote for him.
If he's running, he's watching. Sorry, MC, but if Sia's running, he's getting my tick. He's getting my tick as well.
Good call.
Exactly. But then there was other teams, boys, in the World Cup. I know we obviously crazy Bokke fanatics. We're excited. The parade is happening this week. Other teams in the World Cups that stood out, players that stood out. I thought Bandi Aki was my player of the World Cup.
Teams as well. The Flying Fijians, they came through.
Portugal,
you know,
Portugal
as well.
surprised me.
Hey?
Portugal surprised me for, I would almost say, a non-playing rugby playing country, guys. I mean, their structures that their coach put in place for me. I mean, the games that I did in studio as well was, I really liked the way they attacked and you know got their set pieces right. And then that's why I wasn't surprised when they actually beat Fiji. I mean, those guys working their socks off. And I tell you what, I mean, at some point I spoke to Victor. Victor obviously went to help them before the World Cup with their lineouts and stuff. You could see, you know, the hand that Victor also had. But credit to them, you know, a non-rugby playing country to come to the World Cup and be so competitive. You just want competitiveness. You don't want these 96, 20 scores, guys. Come on. And if World Rugby obviously want to have 24 teams at the next World Cup, you know, the other teams, I would almost say the tier 2 nations, you know, they need to work on just be competitive, man. Just be competitive.
No, everyone was competitive, especially the Thai Flash Jordans was also...
I wasn't too happy with them, to be completely honest with you guys.
The first 20, 30 minutes, they are coming forward.
In 2019, they were really good. 2015, the same. And I thought they're going to have more victories in this World Cup. And they kind of... I don't want to say got stuck, but they were the same. They weren't better. And last year they beat Wales at the Principality in Cardiff. And I thought they're going to try and take that over to the World Cup. So I was, I wouldn't say disappointed with them, but I actually expected a little bit more from the Jordans.
Yeah. Also, that one team that disappointed me was Tonga. I mean, I really thought, you know, after all the names on the paper and in the squad, they would be more competitive. But in saying that again, you know, the biggest disappointment obviously was Mr. Eddie Jones. I don't know what Eddie's up to, guys. I don't know what Eddie's up to, but you know, for Australian team, and it, I mean, he resigned the other day. He resigned, so you know, it's almost like Eddie's lying to himself.
4 weeks ago we said it because he was in Cape Town.
Absolutely,
and 2 days later he was gone.
I mean, he did the same to the Stormers, you know. And it's amazing how this karma thing worked because I mean, look what's happening to him now. He's not making any friends at the moment. He's making a lot of enemies, and I think the culture of rugby is one of respect and one of integrity. And with all due respect, you know, I think Eddie is just losing a little bit of his integrity because when people ask him questions, you know, he got emotional. He got emotional in the media interviews, and it's good to get emotional, but just don't lie to people.
Yeah, talking about respect, there's rumors he's going to Japan, and Japan is all about respect. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Because I told him like a couple of weeks ago, the way that interview and press conference was. He's like, they ask him, is there any rumors? Did you speak to them? He's like, okay, I'm focusing on Australia, You can just see there's something hiding.
And also, I mean, his media interviews before he left Australia as well. I mean, he got so heated up with the reporters. I mean, some of those interviews that we've seen, you know, I mean, he even said, he promised the people of Australia he's going to France not to eat croissants. He's going to get the World Cup.
And then he said
he didn't even make the quarterfinals. You know what I mean? So Eddie needs to look at himself. You know, maybe I don't know, the people around him as advisors or people who, you know, sort of love or feel for him need to just tell him to calm down a little bit.
And I think Breyton obviously made the point earlier about some great coaches and getting team selection is not always the same. And I think you mentioned it in the early part of our show. That he got the team selection wrong for his World Cup.
100%,
Left quite Cooper at home, left Michael Hooper at home. A lot of senior players that he left at home. So he obviously got that part completely wrong.
I totally agree. Because you need a good balance, especially when it comes to senior and junior. Especially when you talk about the Springboks as well. So, I didn't get it right.
Yeah, I think he obviously wanted to prove a point. And now and again, for any coach, it's good to sweep clean. But he did it in a drastic fashion. You know, like he literally chased away all the experience. And like Michael Hooper he will walk into any team still. He's good enough. He's good enough, and he's a good lad. He's a good person as well. So that time already when Eddie did that, when he sort of omitted all those guys, I knew something is cooking. And needless to say, you know, disappointing World Cup.
Yes, that's a lot there.
I was also, while we're talking about disappointment, Scotland. Boys, I really thought the Scotties, I backed them actually to beat.
You said Scotland in South Africa. I said Ireland.
No, I really thought because my thinking behind it, gents, was Ireland and Scotland play each other so much, right? Whether it's in the URC and whether it's in the Six Nations. And I thought because Scotland is the highest they've ever been ranked, number 5. And I thought they really had a good chance of knocking over Ireland because Ireland coming into the World Cup, you kind of knew what they're going to do. They multi-phased rugby and they try and put on phases and get one-on-ones with their triangle attack.
Yeah.
And I just really thought the Scottish are
Van
going to...
Russell and the boys. And the Safa boys as well.
Duan van der Merwe, they really have good players, and they kind of just didn't get out of the blocks at the World Cup.
Yeah, no, you got a point. They had some good struck players, but unfortunately, sometimes when you play a certain style, you need to be able to do it for 80 minutes, and they did it like for, I would say, most games for 30 minutes, you know, and especially against a team like the Boks, you can't just play for 30 minutes. They will certainly destroy you, you know. I think our physicality was brutal for them, and the Irish physicality also was too brutal for them, and they need to find a way to stand up to those kind of teams, suffocate and strangle teams, you know, the physical big boys of this world. And I think once they can sort that out, they will be in with a chance, because once they're getting the ball going at the back, you know, they can beat any team. And they've shown against England, because, I mean, England obviously peaked at the World Cup, so to speak, because before the World Cup, people didn't even sort of tip them to get to the quarterfinals. So Scotland, they got enough players, but they need to be able to find that, you know, that, I would almost say that grunt from the forwards where they can step up and give good backs to the ball.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next World Cup, eh?
Where's the next World Cup, buddy?
Huh?
It's in Australia.
Australia, hey mate. Eh?
Yeah,
Is it
mate.
Yeah, Breyton, that's a lot of like Rugby World Cup, man. We probably want to know how's things with you? How's things going? What you busy with? You still playing golf, bike and stuff?
Jeez, man, I spend too much time on the bicycle these days. For me, that is quite important. I really enjoy it. You know, between flights and work and all these kind of things, you know, you got to try and keep a balance. And I think when I get on my bicycle, when I get into the mountains, you know, you forget about the world for that hour or two, and that's a lot of fun.
Yes.
I actually wanted to ask, why the bike? What is so fascinating?
Even after rugby, life after rugby time.
Everyone
Are you on the bike? Eh?
No, I'm on the golf course.
What bike? Oh.
No, leave me alone. We're asking Breyton questions. Okay, stop it. What makes the bike so fascinating? What makes it so enjoyable?
Yeah, I mean, I literally I played a lot of golf, as you all know. You know, I played plenty golf every week. So just before COVID, I literally stopped playing golf. So I only play when I have to play. Like, I like to play on charity days, you know, when they invite me. But these I literally play 10 games a year, whereas before COVID, I played like 100 games a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the bike, it started with like a joke. You know, we were a couple of mates doing some charity work for the Cape Town Cycle Tour, and then I started cycling with the guys. And then some of my bigger mates, they rode me away, and then I was like, no, man, boys, come on, I need to make a plan. Yeah, so it becomes, you know, that competitive instinct of a rugby player kicked in, and then I started training more, and then the problem was I started enjoying it more until I found out the prices of bicycles, guys.
Ooh, yeah, I've seen it as well. There's one for 250k.
Yeah. Huh? I'm still paying off on mine, guys.
It's not like a BMX.
No, sir.
Okay, sorry.
No,
Think
sir.
about it.
It's quite expensive, Rudy. Yeah, so, so one day when you also now heart full of golf, come to me. We get your bicycle. And we get you in the mountains.
Okay. Yeah, it's different type of golf. You play golf with 3 balls, 4 balls. We play with 14 balls.
No, don't put me in don't put me in your boat, okay, sir? Don't put me in your boat.
But John, you must have got better. I remember the one day we played at Pearl Valley long time ago when you were still playing in England. You must have got better.
No, Breyton.
No, I can't find time.
He's got the Benjamin Button disease. He works backwards.
He plays army golf, left and right.
I'll get there. Yo, Breyton, from our side, I was going to say thank you very much for coming out. It's just fantastic to have like a specialized, you know, view of things. Obviously, you know rugby more that we know probably much because you studied them, especially on super sport and stuff. Thank you for making the time. And you're always welcome to come to BTR, you know. We always find time to get your views. Yeah. I don't know if the people like our views that much, but yeah, fantastic to have you on the show. Yeah.
No, thanks, guys. And I want to say you guys got a good thing going here. Keep it going. It really is authentic and it's fun. Yeah. And I think people want different sort of vibes, and you guys give a different vibe. Keep it up.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thanks, Breyton. All right. Thank you, guys. That's Breyton Paulse.
Wow, partner. Some inside information.
We're at Supersport in our studio. Meneer,
you can
levels.
see he knows his stuff, eh?
I know.
His stats, his detail, small little detail, microscope. He knows his stuff, eh?
And yeah, we obviously ecstatic. Before the interview, we asked him how long he's been doing it. 15 years.
15 years, yeah.
15 years he's been in media. Yeah, so he obviously knows his stuff. So that was exciting to get. And he was in studio when the Boks won. Saturday night.
He's got all the nitty-gritty. But what an awesome career as well, eh? He's an inspiration for all of us. I mean, example as well. Inspiration for all of us. Role models to all of us. I mean, especially guys that comes from underprivileged small towns like, myself and a lot of the other boys that's playing in the Rugby World Cup now as well. Fantastic to see. Celebrations as well. Bomlakisi, backflips, whatever he did. He started it.
He was actually the Power Ranger, just didn't have the
scrum captain.
Yeah. OG.
He's an OG.
Original.
First him, then upload, then just call
conveyor belt.
Conveyor
belt of Power Rangers.
Yo, that was fantastic. Just to get this insight.
Yeah, that was happy. Obviously, we're still excited. But quickly, partner, I want us to tap into the boys that are in India, behind the stumps. Huh?
Behind the stumps. Segment for that as well.
Quickly.
Cover the boys, eh?
Quickly.
What's relevant?
We must never forget about the other people in our lives, okay?
The boys are doing well, eh?
They're doing fantastic.
Yes, we started slow with the...
Yeah, Temba had a sleeping.
Yes, but things are going well now, okay? We're second on the lock now.
Yes.
We only lost one game against Netherlands.
Let's not talk about that little bloopy. But the boys have played phenomenal cricket.
Yep.
The big moments that we generally in the past used to not be good at, the guys are pulling it through against Pakistan at the end. Maharaj and Samsi, Tabriz Samsi, holding the fort. They were hanging in there and they got the runs and we got through it. Yeah. Important win for the boys.
Important win, day. And when it comes to Rugby World Cup, they like to work on our nerves as the supporters.
Yes.
IRB and ICC, Proteas and Springboks.
Why are we... Everything is...
One wicket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it knip.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah. But they're doing well. And then there's a massive game coming up this Sunday. Okay,
Yes.
they're playing India.
In India.
In India. And
Yes.
India's unbeaten.
What?
So far.
Not for long.
Yeah.
Temba? Come on, boytjie. Wink, wink.
Yeah, so the boys are looking good. And then we got a couple more games before the playoffs. So semi-finals,
Yes.
the top 4 going through.
And let's everybody, as we supported the box, right? Now, you go back to the shop.
Keep it good.
Keep it green. Back to the shop, you buy your Protea Fire shirts, okay? Let's get that momentum going.
Yeah,
Dat bol aan die
100%,
rol kry.
We need to get a couple of the boys in here.
We will.
Vernon, Philander, or maybe
they
Russell
all-
Gibbs.
Ooh, lekker.
Yes, because he's also a rugby player, huh? Back in the day, huh? I took a 1-2 step.
Nice.
Yeah, just to give us more information, because I don't know, you've got more experience when it comes to
No, I love my cricket
I was a
partner.
fielder, man. Like I was a jaunty, flexible. Okay.
Okay, John T.
Okay.
Okay, John T. But hopefully they, and I think it's more the support than us putting our expectation on them.
Yep.
We know in the past World Cups, we went into the World Cup hyped and we didn't make it. This one, they went under the radar. The box got all of the light, all of the social media posters, and they just sneaking under the radar. Okay?
Soft like
So hopefully
stuff.
this time, in a few weeks' time, I celebrate us via.
Via.
Yes.
We're going to go again.
Back to back.
Hey, back to back. Hey. When you see us in the mall, back to back.
Yeah,
Hey.
okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then also we need to move on to the URC. IRB had come to an end, eh?
World Cup is at the end. The URC has started.
Yep.
Obviously, you guys, the Stormers, have been off to a flying
Flying
start.
start, yeah. 2 out of 2. Yeah, the other boys, especially this weekend, we didn't get the result. The Lions, the Sharks, and the Bulls didn't get the result.
I actually must say I'm quite gutted I didn't get to ask this question to Breyton because I prepped myself. I'm going to ask Breyton this question. I didn't get to it.
Yep.
Just the, obviously, Super Rugby versus URC, his thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know me myself. I still miss Super
It's
Rugby.
massive difference.
I still miss Friday mornings, Blues versus the Bulls, or the Stormers versus the Crusaders
Highlanders
at Newlands. Ooh, hy was lekker geweest, my lippe toe.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
It's
But I mean,
different now.
the Stormers has taken the URC by storm. You guys are obviously won one, lost one in the final. You guys are off to a great start. 2 out of 2. The other teams, I don't know if they're missing a lot of players at the World Cup. The Sharkies losing to
Yeah,
Leinster.
there's a lot of teams. The Springboks
Bulls,
will still come back, so it's a different type of URC. I mean, I think when the Springbok comes back, it's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 weeks before they get filtered in the Springboks, and that obviously will be a different type of URC.
Okay.
But there's a couple of teams that stands out. Stormers obviously unbeaten, Ulster unbeaten, Edinburgh unbeaten, Connacht unbeaten.
Yeah.
So those 4 teams are actually looking good so far, but I must say it's only the first couple of weeks. So there's lots of rugby still to be played. We still have to go to May. Wait.
I must say I was quite happy with the you call it the Newlands faithful, eh?
Yeah.
The faithful, they support at the Stormers game. a Saturday before the final. I was quite impressed with the amount of numbers that got to the Danny Craven and supported the Stormers. That was awesome to see.
Especially on the World Cup final day.
Yes, I saw the people cracking on with the Bryce and the whatever. But no, they said no.
The faithful.
First Stormers,
yes.
then I'm a Bokke.
Bokke.
Okay, so that was great to see. My Bulls boys. Guys, we gotta get it together. Boys,
yeah, but
Pretoria.
it's still a long season.
I know.
You don't win the URC. What are we now in October, November? You don't win it now.
Okay.
It's a long season, hè?
Alright.
It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Niet. Los die Usain Bolt gedachtes. Okay.
I must say, when it comes to the URC, I'm quite excited to see guys like Shasa Gomazulu.
Yeah, he's doing all. Yeah.
I actually want to see Sanele Nohamba.
Yes, all the youngsters that
I've liked
coming
him a
through.
lot. I want to see him in the URC. What it's going to be like this season, especially now that the World Cup is at the end. There's going to be a gap, an opportunity gap for everyone playing in the URC.
Yeah.
To put a mark down and say, hey, I want to be part of the next 4 years of Springbok rugby.
Springbok rugby. Get into that Rugby World Cup setup,
Exactly.
especially
Is
with
there
the
any
guys
other
leaving.
players that you think that is good, that this is a big season for them, that they can put up there and say, hey, so, Rassie, ek is jou man.
Yeah. Notice from all the other teams, I would like to see a couple of the boys coming in, especially from the Bulls, the new signings, Sergio Peterson, to see how he cracks on. Akker van der Merwe, guys like Edwin van der Merwe as well, has been in the URC for a couple of years now. It's good to see what he can do from the season. So it's still starting phase of the URC. So we're looking forward to a couple of the boys. I think there's a lot of boys that's actually gonna pick up their hand for the next Springbok games coming up this year, next year.
I'm actually quite, for me personally, I want to see what the Sharks are about. Obviously, they have a financial investment side. They've been quite, I don't want to say vocal, but there's signings that they've made. And I think, obviously, that investment sometimes needs to pay off.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what product they're going to put out there. What are they going to be
like? And the
like?
Bulls as well, with their signings.
Die Billetjies ook.
Because Kane and Moody is coming there. The mood must be fine.
Yeah.
Kurtley Arendse, Willie Leroux.
But those boys are going to rest first, partner.
Yeah. So we'll see them maybe in December or January. But yeah, looking forward to URC.
Exciting for the URC. And we're going to cover all of that, okay? Guys, Behind the Ruck is going nowhere.
Cut deep.
We're going nowhere. We are here to stay. Because we are your number one rugby podcast.
Yeah, believe it, believe it, yes.
Are they still subscribing, liking and sharing?
I don't know what kant they on. Bongi must sort them out.
Ja, Bongi. Hulle moet aan die kant
Die
wees.
kant van die subscribe, not aan die kant roofkyker.
Okay, so subscribe on the church group, but even work.
Yeah,
you know
school
the colleague that you don't like, even tell her on Friday morning, hey, did you see
gossip story?
Did you see the episode is out?
Jo.
I wonder what they're saying about the World Cup. So, gaan aan met hy. All right.
Yeah.
And then partner up next. Wat doen ons? Wat maak ons?
Masala. Ons live en direct, hey?
Who's on?
Joe Rokocoko. I don't know if it's Rokocoko, Coco Pops. I don't know.
I'm going to be honest. When I was younger, I said Joe Rokocoko.
Rokocoko?
Yeah.
I think it's Rokocoko. We'll find out.
But obviously back then I didn't have the English salt, so I couldn't say the thou.
Thou.
So I said Coco.
Wow, what a legend. I'm super excited to have him on. Not a great timing after this Rugby World Cup final, but it is good to see what he's up to.
It is awesome. I think also getting the view and he's I don't want to say
different type
from the other side, man.
Yes.
Because we're obviously excited. We've
won.
We're buzzing. But there's the other side of rugby. The All Blacks lost, and we have an All Black legend on the show.
Get his feels of it.
Exactly. So up next,
Joe Rokocoko.
Let's go.
Hey, partner.
Hey.
How lucky are we, hey?
Yeah.
Joe Rokocoko on the show, hey?
All Black legend.
This is legend, hey? Bula. Uvakakawa tiko.
Said Chico, bro, Bula brothers.
Oh, I can still remember, hey? Give him a laugh with a feel. You still got it, hey?
I didn't know you speak Fijian,
yeah,
buddy.
just a little bit, hey? Got some
well
Fijian
done,
teammates,
well
hey? Joey boy, are you doing that side? Where are you? Are you in France? What's happening that side?
Yeah, I'm in Paris at the moment with Racing 92. We just finished training 35 minutes ago, and just happy to be here, boys. Just had a bit of a chat. Obviously, we know what it's all about.
So obviously from our side, thank you for your time. We obviously know you're a busy man, but South Africans love you. So that is, first of all, we want to give our fans, our viewers, where is Joe? We want to let them know what you're about. So obviously after retirement, what are you busy with now?
So yeah, I finished in 2019 with racing in the club. A year before that, they said before finishing, would you with Lulabet, who was the backs coach for the French team these past few years. he was our backs coach, and he asked for me to move into the academy stuff and help in training. So said, why not have a try? Never know what it's going to be like. So I've been doing that for the last from 2019 to now, and this year I was blessed enough to be asked by Stu Lancaster, who's come from Leicester, to join the racing team, to join the pro group for these next 2 years. So with obviously the pro boys and Racing 92 up here in Paris.
Yes.
That's exciting. South Africans inside. Obviously, Racing 92, let's start there before we go to All Black Rugby. You guys are getting, obviously, South Africans, it's our captain, he's our hero. He's obviously currently, Kolisi's everything. Is Racing excited to have Sia Kolisi at the club? And when do you guys expect him to be that side?
We first and foremost, it's what an honor, what a privilege to actually have a person with his experience and just the human he is, of to have someone that come into the club and add so much value. The crowd is the club is very excited of the impact they will bring. Obviously, something different into the club, and the club is so open to something different and all about enhancing our history. And see as a great example of what he's been showing the past few years with the Springboks, and we are just so excited that he can bring not things more only on the field, but off the field in terms of leadership, in terms of connection between getting the best out of everyone on your left, on your right, within the staff. So that's very important as well. We've seen, obviously, with the Boks the past few years, which you tackle your life up for your boys. And we want to get to that stage that boys will do that to that very dark place. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was also like you're the captain, Cape Town boytjie last year as well. Warwick Galant and Trevor Nyakan is also there. How was the South African impact there as well?
Yeah, Trev, he keeps it. Season is long, so it's good to have guys like Trev just to sharpen it up, live up, live up a bit of a smile to get the boys going when it's cold and wet outside. But guys like that just bring the experience of two different styles. Obviously, we've got the French style. Obviously, you've got some Southern Hemisphere boys who've come in from New Zealand and from Wales and England, and now we've got and adding on some bit of a South African spice into our team. We want to brew up the best recipe for this team, and why not go to these boys who are involved with been involved with the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
Yes, so now Racing 92 is going to be South Africa's second favorite team.
Second favorite team, yeah, with the Safa flavor in there.
Especially with our captain.
Yeah, captain being there.
Yeah, yes,
fantastic, eh?
Okay.
Yo. Shall we just one thing? South Africans, we know we're a little bit different. We're not too sure. Is it Joe Rokocoko, or?
It's Rokocoko. So the C at Fijian, it's pronounced tha. So if we try to read cat, it's fat.
Yeah.
So it's thoko. So that's why people got mixed up with Kau Nimbuda rather than Dao Nimbuda with the C.
Yes. Fantastic, eh? Woo! I can still remember the days when you know the dive, that slow-mo
He hurt
dive.
us.
In the
He
air,
hurt
huh?
us.
That
I
famous
remember
slow-mo.
your dive too, buddy. I still remember your guys. They almost at the post, mate.
Yeah. I can still see Adi Savia copying that. Woo! That's fantastic to see, eh? Started it all. Joe, just quickly, looking at New Zealand now as well, having a slow start in the Rugby World Cup against the host and moving themselves through to the final. How was it for you? Were you at one of the games, and what did you see about New Zealand team moving into the getting to the final?
I think we've seen the two best teams in this final just showed what it just all means, how to play in World Cups. The desperation of was, obviously they went for a tough patch, the boys, but their character and coming off playing against the host and having to perform, obliged to perform real well with the pressure. Obviously, we our both nations know the expectations of our country to do that with the expectation of doing well in the jersey that you wear. Um, that's why a majority of all former All Blacks and all New Zealanders are so proud, despite the loss, but they're proud how they showed their mana during these past few weeks, and just resilience throughout these past few months. A lot of changing and of coaches and coming back into form. Then a big loss in Twickenham, then losing first game, then come up again. It's been emotional, and a lot of emotional expectation from the boys. As we know, as players, we take a lot of pride in what the team that we represent, and for them to come through at the end, and people not really expecting them to play the final and missing up a few points. There's a lot of character on the team.
What a game.
And Joe, just obviously for us South Africans, we obviously were so biased watching this game, right? We were obviously only cheering on the box. I really want to know on the other side, you guys that are All Black fans, All Black, ex-All Black legend, what did you feel about the game? Were you happy with the way the All Blacks played the match? What was your thoughts on the game?
I think the difference of just watching it, I think we kind of went into a part that we were looking for answers and things were working out well. It doesn't help when number 1 to 15 is smashing us all over the place and creating pressure and just and the cards didn't help our way in trying to get momentum. You can if it was more of a better day, I think we've kind of adapted well and put the game a bit too passing the game a bit, and even with 14, when it's slow and it's wet and it just plays into South African game plan, it's so hard to compete against any team, then let alone trying to play it against South Africa in that condition. But full credit to them, and I just couldn't believe how the Springboks these last 3 or 4 games to still pull it out, which was amazing to watch.
It was stressful for us, Joe. It wasn't amazing for us. It was very stressful for South
1
Africans.
1 point quarterfinal, 1 point semi-final, 1 point
Then
final.
final.
It's been stressful, yeah.
Exactly. Joe, looking obviously the Fijian side, I wanted to really ask you as soon as I knew you were going to be on us. So I wanted to ask you, the Fijian side, were you happy with the way they performed in this World Cup, throughout the World Cup as well?
Yeah, very happy. I think there's just a lot of confidence to know the amount of work of what's been happening in the background back in Fiji and validating what the draw has been doing these past 2 or 3 years is working, and knowing that boys have actually been learning from past tournaments and past campaigns and taking a step forward rather than a step back or being stuck on the same spot. So in terms of that, we've known, like obviously South Africa, that what's our why, and that's our people, and what builds us is first and foremost. And then the rugby comes after, and if we have the right structures and the right coaching plan, right game plan, and the right coaching crew around, and you just kind of mold these players and into the best rugby players that can be. Anything is possible. So we are, as a public, as supporters, as fans, we are in Fiji. We're just so proud, and like in South Africa, and a lot of inspiration. These boys and all these Fiji boys are just talking about wanting to play for the draw before was playing for the Blues Crusaders, or every other team outside. Now they're talking about wanting to play for the draw because they've seen the pathway, they've seen the growth, and we just keep praying that we move on instead of going backwards, and learn from these past experiences.
Yes, and they were our second favorite team in the World Cup, the Flying
definitely.
Fijians,
I love the Fijians. I love the way they play their rugby.
Offload kings,
No, it was honestly something to behold. I must say, a lot of South Africans actually got behind the Fijians. Obviously, they came up short in that quarterfinal. But looking at the future, what do you think is going to be important for Fijian rugby to make sure that growth is going in the right direction, Joe?
I think if we can just obviously continue with the draw and involve our game a bit more, especially in certain positions, especially in the number 10 position. I think we're all thin in that position instead of being, we know it's a key part quarterbacks of the rugby, for rugby. So we really hope there's some genuine good future prospects coming out of the under 20s, and if we can involve those guys more, and maybe in the end of the year tours, being part of the group, get to eat a bit of how to be a professional player, and a bit of growth in that department. We get more kickers as well, mate. We're not too bad. Us Fijians, we just love to attack, bro. So I think if we can get some good coaches down there as well, just to not only coach about running a rugby, but some kicking techniques or coaching courses just to help out, just to add more tools in our bag so we can go to the World Cup well prepared.
Yeah, looking forward to them at the next Rugby World Cup, eh? Joe, just quickly moving on to the wings and stuff, especially looking at New Zealand as well. I mean, you've got a record and a half, and I mean you've done a lot in the New Zealand, especially at 11 jumper. Jonah Lomo coming through there, and looking at the two wingers now at the moment, like Mark Talia on the one side and Will Jordan, almost breaking the record as well. What was your feel on the form of them and how they've adapted throughout this Rugby World Cup?
Oh, it's just so cool just to see wingers involved, Um, as we know, not only wingers but guys who played in your position and just take it, enhance it, and just go up another level. It's as past former wingers in that position, you're just so proud of these players. Taking up another level, bringing their own style into this jersey. They can grow a bit more. You got one who is like he puts himself with soap before playing because everyone just slips off him. And another person that just ends up being in the right place at the right time all the time. Both real good talented players, strong on the high ball, and then not only saying that, you've had other wingers, Lancaster, waiting in the bench and waiting for his opportunity just to enter this team because we know in wingers and if you're a wing in New Zealand, you got a time frame between maybe 10, 11 years because there's another guy knocking in the window, bro. So unless you can play a lot of positions, which these boys have just shown the quality of their skill sets, you can be there longer. There's no more winger that just finishes the game, great finishers. You have to be an all-rounder and make a difference.
In All Black Rugby, Joe, moving into the future, right? Obviously, I know All Black fans are probably hurting today, but is the future bright for All Black Rugby with Razor coming in and taking over the reins from Fozzie? What is your feeling on Razor's coaching style? And do you think All Black Rugby will evolve or will change in any way?
Yeah, good question. I think we're just excited for something new, and obviously Foz has done a lot of hard work in the background to get to where we were to get where we are now. And it's that part that everyone's just leaning to Razor because of the work. Obviously, he's got a massive CV and he knows how to involve a team. It's hard enough. For example, Crusaders, everyone studies that team year in, year out, and how they play. And the difference between them, they always find a way to go that extra level on top of each team each year. So for Razor, in terms of coming to the team, he's just our expectation, and I guess his own expectation, is to take this team into another level. Maybe we never know what he's going to come up with. It might be something so fresh, like Rassi. Something, I'm sure maybe be opposite. It'd be a 7-1 to the backs instead of the forwards for us. But just something fresh, something exciting. There's a new coaching crew. Obviously, some are staying put with Jace. But for us to be evolution is big for us because as we know, we've gone overseas and we've seen the evolution of players and teams just develop, and we've kind of set flat in the bar. We really haven't gone up a level, because I used to be here and I used to think, why are we so good? And sometimes we didn't do much fancy moves, but we end up winning because we ended up doing the basics perfectly 80 minutes. But now you got teams who could do the same and do moves at the back of it. And we've just sat in this flat bar. So we have to involve as well as players and as coaches. And that's the challenge. And that's what we were excited for.
Yeah, just one more question before we go. I need to ask this. You've heard about the Nations Championship that's coming up. IRB just announced in 2026. You've got the 6 nations, the Tri-Nations in Japan and Fiji joining. What is your feel about, Fiji joining that Nations Championship, and also the Tier 2 like Samoa and Tonga not being involved in that? I know there was a couple of Tier 2 players in the country was very unhappy, like Lima and them. They wanted opportunity. Playing in that big stage. So when it comes to Rugby World Cup, it makes it easier. What is your feels around, Samoa and Tonga feeling out and Fiji being in there?
Yeah, I get it. It's like every year, what's been echoing down on the Pacific is just making uh, these our big team, our tier two teams, just getting opportunity to play these big teams. Just getting them used to the pace and uh, the big games in Europe or up in South, and just being involved a bit more. At the moment, yes, we want to involve, but we can't really involve with each team because we haven't actually played other teams or another level than us, higher than us. So we're playing the same pace, kind of same intensity. But if we're doing that every year in, year out, and you go to the Rugby World Cup and these other tier one teams are playing top teams week in, week out, which the level gone up. We're still in this bottom bar, which we're struggling. So I just, it's frustrating. Um, just for, especially for the smaller teams. I know Tonga, I find have just dipped, going lower, and they just the separation is kind of getting further and further apart, which is disheartening. And that's especially our Pacific brothers, the Samoas. Lucky Samoa just holding themselves in there, but uh, the warm up games. I think they played mixed barbars plus biggest game they played was an island game in the Basque country, and you got Fiji who played England and the French team going into the Rugby World Cup and their performance. So I just hope this we can't answer everything, but just in terms of consistency and making these teams involve more in playing tier one teams or even tier one teams going to Fiji, they'll be massive because our countries down the Pacific, we love rugby so much, and these teams we look up to. At least that we can do as people playing tier one, just to pop down and have a game. It's not and not everything's all about money. Yes, you need some things the machine to move, but down to the end of it, we're looking at our future and we want people to be interested. And that's the difference between us and people playing rugby league in the end in the south, because people look to that. That's more for them rather than the corporate suits.
Yeah, yes.
This was awesome, eh? Jenne, meneer.
Yes, that's some good
So
insight.
obviously, I just want to thank you from the two of our side. Thank you for
very
taking
much,
your
yeah.
time. We know you were just busy with training, but thank you for just coming to chat with us quickly.
Yeah.
I think South Africans are going to be over the moon to hear your voice, to see your face
Yeah.
again. It's going to
Massive
bring
support.
back some terrible memories for some of our Springbok supporters from back then, but it's just good to
guy.
have a legend back.
Yeah. Fantastic, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Even I think it's one of those games, the finals, when yes, we're disappointed, but we're so proud of our team, but not and being happy for the Bokkies as well, because of we've heard it, we've seen it. It's just the impact that the people who all comes together into one sport and to support one nation, and you just see the excitement of the country, which is for us it's a win-win as well. So it's good to see. I'm sure surprised that you guys are fresh at the moment, that you guys are on your dead seat, struggling from the weekend. But I'm sure you guys have a good few weeks, because I know Sia's done there for 2 weeks in South Africa before he comes back.
Yes, if we find
Awesome.
Sia, we're going to send him some droewors or biltong or something.
Yes.
Hey, Joey, we need to find him first. We need to find him first.
Gonna be a busy man.
Thanks for making time, Joey. Really appreciate it, my man.
Cheers, my
Take care
brother.
that side,
Too
eh?
good.
Hola.
Bonjour, name is you.
Wow, partner. Yo. And there we have it. It's Joe Rokocoko.
Yes.
Okay. What a legend,
For
man.
10 years, I got it wrong.
Huh?
I am sorry.
Rokocoko, Coco Pops. What did you say?
Rokocoko, but it's Rokocoko.
Yes. Fantastic.
Désolé.
Yo, fantastic to
Yeah.
talk to him. Man. He's, born Fijian. He's got the flavor of that side. He's an All Black legend, And the tries he's scored, the pressure and the nerves he put onto us, our fathers, all of the Springboks.
All I'm saying is he was on behind the rack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it again. We're a big deal.
Huh?
Okay?
Hey, seatbelt.
Sorry.
Seatbelt. I told about the seatbelt, okay? Yeah, as we wrap it up here, boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Protocol. Let's
Protocol, okay.
observe the protocol. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for Rooibos Man. In the studios, opening their home,
Yes.
opening their doors for us. Hey?
And
Rooibos
just-
Man, it's not the
I
tea.
see not the tea. I just wanted to tell you.
Yes. It's not the English tea you
No.
speak about for you.
It is for
Yes, we're making sure
yeah.
we're looking good.
I've
Because
seen
looking
you-
good is a
I-
form of good manners, they say. form of good manners.
Okay.
But we're so lucky. So
Yeah.
thanks to Rooibos
Welcome
Man.
on board.
Yeah, welcome on board. Yeah.
Welcome.
The new sheriff in the BTR team.
Yes, buddy. Okay.
And also our loyal partner,
Us?
Lulabet.
Okay.
sports.lulabet.co.za.
Go check it
without
out.
them, Eskom is going to hit us
Us,
hard.
no lights. Okay.
Yeah, so go check it out. Ooh, yeah, partner. Wow.
Another great episode. We had Breyton Paulse on, which is a childhood
Wow,
hero
wow,
of mine. Joe Rokocoko, kind of in the same era. They played against
Winging
each
it this
other.
week.
Winger episode. We spoke about the Proteas behind the stumps.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that was fantastic. Yeah, and the Bokke guys, it's Friday. Bok Friday.
Yeah.
The tour is currently in Cape Town
Get there.
today.
Yes.
Get down.
The
I don't
OGs.
even know where they're driving around.
Yes.
Find them.
Find
Go
them.
there.
Find
cheer.
them.
Flaggies.
Go
Flaggies.
see it. Go see it.
Yeah.
Fotootjies. We're going to be involved because we've missed it in when
Yeah,
we were in France
2019.
and, yeah,
Okay.
and England,
And then
yeah.
once you get home, behind the ruck. Or if you wake up, because we're out early. Je staan mos nou op. Ek sien vir jou. Je
Ek
staan
sien
nou
jy,
op.
ja, kyk kom.
Watch, I'm checking you. Watch behind the ruck. Say hom sommer nou in aan, hè. Share it to everyone. Okay?
And up next, first of all, beauty moment of the week.
Yes. We always go on with a beauty,
moment of the week. Check it this. Wow.
Brought
4
you-
years, I can watch that for 4
Exactly.
years. Till the next Rugby
Okay.
World Cup.
And beauty moment brought to you by Rooibos
By
Man.
Rooibos Man.
Yes. And that is everyone's favorite moment.
Yo.
Sia with a trophy. Meneer.
Back to back.
Hey.
Hey. Back to back.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. I'm Rudy Page.
I'm Juan de Jong.
And the ruck is clear.